Hello everyone, my name is Mekkah and welcome to a very special edition of Fire Emblem Pitfalls, where we look at common misconceptions and mistakes in the Fire Emblem series and we try to look at why they exist and how we can perhaps learn from them. Usually this is a scripted series where I talk about, something like why using pre-promotes isn't necessarily bad, or why you don't have to worry too much about XP distribution, or why you shouldn't hoard weapons, that kind of stuff. Today we're doing something different, something that a lot of people have requested I do. Over the years people have asked me, please look at a Mangs Let's Play and point out all the pitfalls. I've always said, that would be way too much work, and it still is, and I probably shouldn't be doing this, but whatever. And a lot of people have also requested, of course, that I look at chapter 14 of Mangs' FE5 Iron Man stream, because I was there when he was streaming it, but I wasn't recording. Usually I record my reactions to these if they're particularly funny. Unfortunately, I was too tired at that point to record, and Rin wasn't available, so I had to do it on my own if I was going to do it. I wasn't feeling up for it. But now instead I'm going to give some kind of post-commentary analysis kind of thing, because we can give Mangs a lot of shit for not wanting to do math or playing carelessly using the arena, but that's the easy pickings. But I feel like there's some things in this chapter that everyone could learn from. It's easy to make fun of Mangs because he plays poorly, but you gotta keep in mind he has to keep people entertained. He has to keep talking to the chat. He has to make his moves kind of fast to make the chapters flow nicely. Otherwise, they take even longer than they already do. This chapter takes him about an hour. I have no idea how long this video is going to take. Actually, it takes him like 1.5 hours even. So we'll see how long I have to cover his mistakes. But yeah, there's something in his play that I think everyone could learn from, like even in a don't do this kind of way. But I think a lot of people might make similar mistakes than he does, depending on, of course, their level of play. I'm not saying everyone should play perfectly. I'm not saying Mangs should play perfectly at all. I don't play perfectly, especially not when I'm on stream. But I think there's stuff we can all learn from. And I brought a couple things with me to help me. One of them is my my cursor, which is not showing up right now, but there it is. There it is. So if you notice my cursor on the screen, please don't worry about it. It's there, but I needed to point out stuff. It's easier than saying, yeah, the square left to the house, which is like right here. I can just point to it. That's easier for me. So if you want to hug my cursor, go ahead. Also, you will notice there's a pitfall counter in the top left here. My cursor goes behind it, but there it is. That's just how we count the mistakes. I hope I remember to use it. Let's get started. Let's get going.
All right, let's go.
Indeed.
I should have known better than to ask. I should have known better than to ask. All right, here we go. God, I love this chapter. It's so cool. Oh, there's Dean. So we started with 2 new units, a good one and a bad one. Let's talk about the bad one first. Here's Dean. Nah, I'm just joking, guys. So here's Edda. She's a Draco rider. Edda isn't bad. Like, she's a Draco Knight. I think Edda gets overshadowed by Dean a lot, and she's certainly worse than Dean, but she's still a flyer. There's some merit in that. Oh.
This is actually a good point he's making. I will give him credit where it's due, just to be fair. A lot of people look at Edda and then they look at Dean and like, Dean is better, so Edda must be bad. This is actually a very common pitfall that people do, where they just compare units within their own class instead of looking at units based on their own merits. Both Edda and Dean are helpful units, just Dean is much better than Edda. That doesn't really say anything about Edda though. Edda is fairly competent on her own. She's not, like, if you look at her stats, they don't look very good. But just the flyer utility alone is worth it, and her combat is salvageable if you train her up. There are a lot of outdoor maps where you can use Edda to her full potential, and I would actually say she's fairly decent. I mean, everyone is usable in Thracia, so I wouldn't put Edda like very high on a tier list or anything, but I think Edda is fairly decent, and I think he has a good point that Ada gets overshadowed by Dean for no good reason. But let's hear what he had to say about both of these first, because there is a pitfall in there, trust me.
Although they have to dismount on indoor maps, which is kind of sad. But I don't know. I think Edda's okay. However, she's nothing compared to this fucker. Dean. This is the horror of Thracia, guys.
This is where he's wrong. This is where I'm going to add a pitfall, definitely, because Dean is most definitely not Har. He's referring to FE10 Har, who is an absolute tank in his own game. A very durable unit, very hard to kill off. He can do it, trust me, he can get him killed. But he had to try to do it, or rather, he had to be extremely careful to do that. Dean is, I wouldn't call him fragile, but he is not the super tank that Har is. He is a lot easier to get rid of. And trust me, I've done it in my own Iron Man playthroughs. I've gotten Dean killed multiple times and it made me feel sad every single time. But it can happen because 36 HP and 13 defense, it won't get killed in like 1 or 2 enemies, not at all. But he can definitely die a lot more easily than Har can. And thinking that he is Har is a big mistake on its own. I've always said that pitfalls are not exactly the same as mistakes, but for the purposes of this episode, we're going to say they're the same. Dean is most definitely nothing, or rather, he's definitely not Har. Not FE10 Har, not by all. No, not by a long shot.
So I don't really know what was the thought process behind these 2 units, right?
The thought process obviously was that Edda is not as good as Dean. Dean is Edda's older brother, and he naturally has an advantage over her. When Kaga said balance is my passion, I don't even know for sure if he said that or not. That's something people like to quote a lot. I think he said it in a much different context than just every one of my units is balanced in some way. He just doesn't mind when one unit is clearly better than another, and in that way he's not different from modern Fire Emblem unit designers at all. And I think this is the wrong way to look at unit, but hey, that's just getting into design philosophy, so I won't dock any points for that. No, fuck it, of course I am giving him a point for that. Of course I'm giving him a pitfall for that.
So there's a lot going on this map. A lot. We gotta visit every single house. If we went here with Nana, we would have gotten Homer, the mage, but since Nana's still in the mountains somewhere, we're not gonna get him, sadly. But we're still gonna visit the house.
So, right away I gotta establish this before I forget. I'm not gonna criticize Mangs for not having Nana or, having given advantage to Orson, even though it was obviously a bad idea. These are things he did before we're looking at this video. I'm gonna judge him on the merits of this chapter alone. So how he deals with the situation at hand with the tools he has available. So I'm not gonna go, well, if you had advantage on Alwyn or advantage on Asphel, or if you had Nana, you could have done this. But that's pointless because in the context of decisions he makes right now, these are the choices he has to make. That's the thing I want to look at. So I'm not gonna critique his not even going to critique his battle preps, honestly, because at this point those are done and over with. He cannot reset, he cannot redo it. This is the stuff he has to work with. The squad you see on your screen right now, that is the units he has to work with, and that's basically it.
If we visit all houses, we get a guided chapter. Or is it like 8 out of 10 houses? I don't remember. But this...
Just to get it out of the way, you need to visit, I think it's 3 houses. Yes, exactly 3 houses to get the guided chapter. If you don't do that, you don't get the guided chapter. And for every house you visit, you get to save a civilian and get an S drink in 14x.
This map is kind of rough. You gotta survive for what? 10 turns. There's a guy here, Balduck. He's really fucking scary, by the way. Look at this guy. Look how decked out he is. Masterlance, Killer Bow, and Rider's Bane. He's gonna fuck you over. He has 3 leadership stars. There's a guy here that has 4 leadership stars. That's 7 enemy leadership stars right away. There's also... Isn't there another guy here too? No, there's 7. But what I like to do personally is I like to warp someone down here and take care of him immediately. I think Orson might be able to do it. He has 12 AS. What is Orson's attack speed? With the hammer. He has 20 AS right now. What if he uses the hammer? That would... Yeah, still has 20... He has 20 AS with the hammer. So, if I warp Orson down, I can bonk this guy. And also take out this guy. I kind of want to do it. Not gonna lie.
I don't think this plan is necessarily bad as long as you're prepared for the consequences. One of the consequences could be that Orson fails to kill the boss because he misses. The boss might have Pavise. I'm pretty sure Barons all have Pavise. Let me double check that for a moment. Yeah, he does have that. So definitely keep that in mind. You might not kill the boss, and then Orson has to take on all these enemies at once. Now, it's also worth noting, because of Mangs getting trolled by his chat, his Orson has advantage as well as Wrath, and they negate each other. So basically he only has advantage for the purposes of this video. And that means that Orson gets to attack before the enemy gets to attack him. Keep that in mind while you watch.
Of course, Tina can't use the warp staff, but she can steal. I don't know what we'd steal from the guy. Like, it has to be something with less weight than her magic.
Mangs is confused on how mechanics work in this game sometimes because, again, he's not as familiar with Thracia. The way the Thief Staff works is you have to have more magic than the enemy you're trying to steal from. The weight of the weapon does not actually matter. So if you want Tina to be able to steal something from someone, just look at her magic compared to the enemies, because in this game magic and resistance are the same stat. They're called magic.
I don't remember, but if Dean visits this house, I think he gets a Master Lance. You can.
It's called the Dragon's Lance, but that's okay.
Here's an arena. You up for some blood sport? Silver Axe. Oh, that's not good. This is fine. Wow, that's a great night. They look great. Wish I had one of those. Would have been nice. Homer's house doesn't count. Well, I'm still gonna visit it, probably. Ooh, wow, he got stats he didn't need.
Okay, so let's establish this right now. Mangs has a gambling addiction. Mangs sent someone into the arena in ballista range because he wants gold and experience. It's bad. I'm just gonna give him 1 for all the arena visits and we'll call it a day. 1 of just the fact that he's using the arena at all. If he's like particularly bad about it, I'll give him another 1, but for the most part, this one is gonna be for all the arena visits. Arena is very, very dangerous in this game.
Let's warp. Orson, let's go. Let's get rid of those leadership stars, baby. Yoink!
Alright, so here's when one part went wrong. One thing Max forgot to do here is he saw the enemy inventories earlier when he was looking around with his thief staff, and he could have seen that a lot of these armor knights, I think all of them, have killer lances, and those have high crit rates. And in Thracia you have these nice little items called scrolls, which you can put on characters, and if you put them on them, then they cannot get crits. Not by killer lances at least. You can get crit by wrath, but that's not relevant here. The point is, he didn't do that. And you know, I understand wanting to keep scrolls on other characters too, but when a guy goes into range of like a bunch of killer lances, and he's probably going to get a bunch of level ups from killing a boss and a bunch of other stuff, makes sense to send a scroll down with him. That would have been pretty smart. He also mentioned the idea of giving a pure water to him, considering that he had one available, I think somewhere, because he was talking about it. Considering the fact that there is a tornado baron down there as well as a bolting bishop, I think that would have been a very good idea. But instead, before dedicating to this move, before checking anything, he just warps him down there and decides to do it. I understand wanting to get rid of the guy as soon as possible, but his leadership stars have no impact on the battle right now. There are no enemies in his range other than the ballistas, so this was probably too premature of a warp. He could have waited a turn and probably checked out enemies more thoroughly than he did, which was basically not at all.
So here's the question, right? What is best? Hammer or Pooji? So Hammer is 49 hit, which is a lot.
49 hit is not a lot. I don't know what kind of universe he lives in, but 49 hit, I would never call that a lot.
But it almost kills. But I'll need to hit twice, which I don't think I'll do. So what about the Pooji? Oh, I should have hammered the Pooji. I'm an idiot. Fuck. The Pooji has 37 crit. It will basically crit on the second attack. That's 26 damage. Ooh, that's not enough. How about the Brave Axe? Well, the Brave Axe will hit a lot, but it won't do a lot of damage.
So he's having a lot of trouble deciding whether to use one of these 3 axes, the hammer, the Pooji, or the Brave Axe. He should have repaired the Pooji 100% if he was even like considering using it. There's a good argument to using the Pooji, because the boss actually has 1-2 range in Tornado as well as the Master Axe. So if he moves, like let's say you fail to kill him with the Pooji, he moves out of your range, he hits you from range, you want to have a ranged weapon equipped. So there's a good argument for wanting to use it. So he should have repaired it definitely if he was planning to warp. Another thing you should have overlooked. So that is basically double pitfall right here. Also, he has 69 hit. I can't believe he didn't see it. He should have done that. Personally, considering Orson has Vantage, and considering these armor knights will attack him with crit lances, and he doesn't have crit, what he should have done at this point is decide, you know, if I can't work out what has the best probability of killing this guy, at least I should consider the fact that the hammer will one-shot these armor knights. And, you know, he has Vantage, so that could have been pretty helpful, killing these guys before they attack him. But instead, he just overlooks that.
Yeah, I think, oh man, if I Pooji, I'm gonna die, right? That's not great. I don't remember if this boss moves or not.
Just to make it clear, if the Puji would break, it would end up at, it would not vanish from your inventory. In Thracia, what happens is your weapon breaks, it ends up as like a broken axe, which is like 0 might and 30 weight or something, maybe 20 weight, but either way, it becomes a very bad and unusable weapon that will reduce your combat stats and make you more likely to get killed. So that's why he doesn't want it to break, like it desperately doesn't want it to break.
Orson has a critical multiplier of 4, so that would be like 30%.
So Orson actually has a multiplier of 3, so that would be like 21%, but you know, just factual knowledge, nothing to worry yourself over. So he ends up letting a straw poll decide, and he ends up going with the good old Puji. Let's see how that works out for him, even though he knows that it could break.
Here we go! Oh, my camera.
It is worth noting at this point that Mangs still doesn't realize that this boss is Pitfalls, so not only are his attacks like dependent on whether he's gonna crit or hit or anything, but there's also just a straight out chance that the boss could just make a hit fail with Pitfalls. So let's keep that in mind too.
There we go. So this is how I'm to die. Wow. No!
And there's another thing he did wrong, was he didn't even consider that this boss has 34 attack and Orson only has 12 defense, and he dies in 2 hits. And that could have happened, and you know, I've had a person or two die to Masterlands myself, so I know how it feels to get hit by low hit rates. He's in a forest, but that doesn't mean you're safe from getting hit. And in Iron Man run, you gotta be extra careful. And here you can see Pitfalls activating, by the way, so that is also a big factor. And now you have to consider, you know, the boss might not even, he might kill me in 1 round. That's also pretty important. So he didn't even check the attack and defense variables. He didn't even check how Orson would do. He just looked at how much damage Orson would do. So always check your survival, kids. Always check that shit.
No! What? Oh, that's not good. Who has Physic? You have Physic. Salem, I need you to not miss this one. You need to not miss this one. Please don't miss. Don't miss. Thank you. Whew. Okay. Well, that's certainly not great. Certainly not great. I can't take this anymore. Me right now. Me right now. What can you buy here, I wonder? You can buy silver swords? Wow, that's terribly expensive. That's very expensive. I don't want to buy a silver sword. What do we get here? This is the vendor. What do they sell here? Ooh, stamina drinks. I do actually need more vulneraries. That's the funny part. And then there's a house here. I guess we'll go get that. I should have repaired the Puji before doing that.
Also worth noting here is he put his bow knight, arch knight, whatever he's called, Roberts, into a house, just to get, you know, just to get a guiding thing. You know, Ed is in range to get that house next turn, so there's no reason to send a unit that way. Also, he stole one of the ballistas, the one on your screen right now, but there's another right outside of your range, around here, that can shoot at Roberts. And he survives a hit, sure, but Robert has a cost, and when you have a cost, whenever you enter combat with a unit and they have more HP and attack speed than your opponent at the start of the battle, another round will happen. And a round first is a ballista just means he shoots at you twice instead of once, and that means he dies if he gets hit twice. He didn't even think about it, he just put him in there. Always think about it. Always.
That was dumb.
Yeah, very dumb.
Oh boy. There goes the... Oh, okay, here we go. Oh fuck, he's gonna break the Puji. Are you
Damn! It's almost like when you don't have a scroll on you and you can get crit. Wow, imagine that.
fucking shitting me right now? Wait, he doesn't have a scroll? Did I fucking take his scroll away? No! Oh my fucking lord.
Worth noting here, he attacks first, If he had a hammer equipped, this guy would be dead as long as Orson connects his hit. Instead, he has the Pooji and no scroll, and he's that much closer to death.
Oh! Oh my god. Oh god, my rank increased, thank god. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh. Just the man donated $5 to super chat. I'm a boomer, horny. Homie, not horny. Ah. Please let Orson survive. Please let Orson survive. Please let Orson survive.
I would like to note that Leaf was getting attacked by 2 ballistas here, but Leaf is actually one of the tankiest units in this range. Both of these ballistas could have attacked Marita, I'm pretty sure, and she was definitely going to die in 2 hits, so there's one mistake right there. And of course I also didn't count any for the various things he did wrong with Orson, so we're just going to give him like 2 straight up for that, for all the things he forgot. And then we have 1 more for Robert, because I forgot to give him a point for that as well. So that's 9 so far. I probably already lost count. I probably already fucked up the count, but that just goes to show we have a lot to learn here.
I live. Please live. Wait, what? Oh, it's Robert. Okay. He's gonna get doubled now. Yeah. Ah.
Note how he isn't even like surprised that Robert's getting doubled. He just assumes he dodges or something. I will never understand this man.
Why did I give him a fucking scroll? Like, it's so annoying. Oh, the boss can attack me now. No. He's gonna break his Pooji. He got hit by a 1?
It's so funny because you can complain all you want about like RNG's crewage and 1% hit, but you know, he dodged a lot of 12s and 20s earlier, and the boss could still attack and everything, so Orson was pretty likely to die here. I think he was about to break his Pooji too, so he got unlucky. That, like, the only unlucky part here is that it was the bishop who killed him and not someone else. But I will still never laugh at this. Just 1 more point for that one alone.
Yup. Shannon and Homer are ridiculously gay. Yeah, they sure are. Ah, man. I think we're gonna have to face tank this with Asphalt. I don't really see how else we're gonna do this.
So, Mag's units are spread out all across the map, and he's having trouble figuring out, you know, how do I stop an invasion from basically 4 points? For those of you who are curious, I'm going to let it play for a little bit more so I can get a better overview of the map, because right now Asphalt's menu is in the way. But there's actually very easy ways to tackle this map. I don't blame him for not doing them, because they're not very exciting to look at on a stream. But let me just show it, just for completeness sake.
Do we just put a fucking pure water on? I think we do that now. Let's fucking get these guys.
Okay, so actually roughly the point where Asphalt's at is actually a weak point in the enemy formation. If you put a unit there, either here, or the same points on the opposite side of the map, so like around here and here, I think roughly is where it is, and in the middle, kind of depends on how you want to go about it. As long as you put them just out of ballista range and right beyond the corner, I think you're good. You can face tank armors with 1 units. The best way is to use mounted units with high durability and no weapon equipped, or a very weak weapon equipped, and they probably won't die. Don't use Dean and friends, don't use flyers, because they can get one-shotted by bows. But someone like Finn, Glade, Fred, they can all do it pretty much at base level with almost no trading. You can put people like Leaf, people with Kingmaker, Nana, other support units near them to keep them alive, give them extra void, and they'll be alive. Don't forget to give your mounted units a scroll. That way they do not get crit by battle axes, and whenever they gain level up, they'll have a little bit of a booster growth. So that's also nice, and that will pretty much trivialize the chapter. So whenever you're in trouble on this one, just remember you can choke the points. Don't use Olwen though. Olwen is too frail for that kind of stuff. You can also use like Orson, because he's also pretty bulky, But keep in mind when you disarm Orson that he needs to have more builds than the enemy armors. If you have no weapon equipped and you're not a mounted unit, then you can get captured by a high build armor. Some of these have really high build. Same goes for Dagdar, and also Dagdar has a cost, so he can get doubled by these armor knights. So that's why we generally don't use unmounted units. That's why I suggest using like Fred and Finn.
I kind of want to deal with these ballistas, so I'm going to put Dean over here. Oh, I could just dismount him. Can I go over here and like dismount? Maybe if I give him like a better sword, maybe. Michael Shan, donate $2 for super chat. Haha, this is what you get for giving Orson Vantage. Yeah, right. Literally died to Vantage.
So right now he is very obsessed with this left side and using Dean to take out this ballista. I think this is a very bad idea. For one, he already disabled the lower ballista with the thief staff earlier using Tina, so that one is not a threat. The other one only covers like roughly this corner of the map where Edda is hiding out, and he doesn't really need to be here anymore anyway. He already visited this house. I think he can like get the vendor and the armory maybe if he wants to get some more stuff from there, but Edda is here to get in there, buy stuff, and then get out. So I don't know why he's so obsessed about this ballista. I guess he could accidentally walk into his range and like put anyone in danger that's like beyond this line over here. But generally I don't think this is a good use of Dean. And also putting him there is pretty risky. And I don't know, yeah, we'll see about that one.
It's kind of sad. Alright, Seth, let's go. I guess Marita goes to the arena. That's what she can do this chapter.
So he's in trouble, right? There's a lot of enemies that are starting to attack him and stuff. He has like 2 little units to handle everything that's coming, but still, he wants to go to the arena with Marita, a unit that is in ballista range. If she like gets through an arena fight, she's probably at low enough health to where a ballista one-shots her, but he's still doing it. That I think goes above and beyond. So we're gonna give him another one for that.
Alright, she should be able to win this one. Fuck me. I'm really demoralized right now. I'm really demoralized. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh! That's Luna. No!
This right here is when you should have pressed B, because Marita is dealing 2 damage and the mage is killing her in 1 hit. So if Marita doesn't take care of him, basically right now, she's in danger of death. He doesn't press B.
Fuck. I should probably get out. I should probably get out. Oh,
yeah, that was too late,
mind.
but he lucked out anyway.
Void. Maybe even the kill. I don't know. I feel like, she can get a regular lance. She sucks anyway. I'm gonna send Dean over here and I'm gonna dismount him. Gonna equip a slim sword.
So, first of all, I understand the mentality of using the slim sword instead of a iron blade, because I do believe the iron blade weighs Dean down, so I get that. But this is unbelievably risky for multiple reasons. For one, Dean is in range of, well, 2 bow knights, 2 armor knights. I think this guy might reach him, as long as he has 5 move, which I think he does. Mages have 6 moves, so they can reach him as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess this one might not be able to, but this one definitely can. Dean also has no way to get out, so because he dismounted. And the funny thing is, well, if he was mounted, he'd get wrecked by these bow knights, so I understand not mounting him here. But again, just this ballista, he's too obsessed with it. It's not in range of anything at all right now. In fact, if I were to use Dean to take out any ballistas, it should be the ones on the other side, because that's where he's constantly putting Marita in range of the arena, or range of the ballistas in the arena and everything. Like, there's a ton more units in there that are in danger. But instead he's focused on this stupid ballista. But just sending Dean in here, period, is such a bad idea, because he can't get out. The only way for him to get out is a rescue staff, which he doesn't have, because he lost a village that had it. So he's just trapping Dean in a very unwinnable position, and unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a vulnerary either. And I think he's either out of physics or close out of physics. So it's not just sending him in here that's wrong, but also not having a plan for when it goes wrong. He hasn't even checked if Dean can one-round this ballista, to be fair. And if he's busy killing the ballista, he cannot heal himself either. Or like, you know, move to a forest to keep himself alive. So no backup plan. Bad idea. Give him +1.
I want to go get that ballista. And then we can probably
I should bear in mind that it's not just the fact that he's going after the wrong target, he is having the wrong priorities, but he's also tunneling on it very hard. And tunnel vision, I think, is a real problem that a lot of Fire Emblem game players have, where they have a certain objective in mind, and no matter what, they seem to be unable to keep themselves away from it, sometimes against better judgment. And tunnel vision is a very real pitfall that you gotta keep in mind. It's a very real thing you can fall into that you do not want to. Always be ready to change your objectives, even your side objectives.
It's a lot of guys coming our way. A lot of guys. Can Salem take Merida? No. We'll just do this. This is gonna be a mess. Oh wait, no, I can't heal. Oh, I can't heal. Fuck, I can't. Shit, I just dropped her back into ballista range. What the fuck am I doing?
Well, that's a mistake if I ever saw one. He could have just dropped her up. So there you go. And this is probably like ballistas. They have very annoying ranges that are hard to keep track of. But this chapter has some very easy markings that you can use to keep track of the ballista range. I think the line for the ballista range is around here. This diagonal right here through the houses through Dakdar. Might be one off, but you get the point, right? If at the start of the map you just look at the ballista ranges and you figure them out like that, it's very easy to remember because they're symmetrical and they cover certain parts of the map. It's very easy to remember if you just take a look once. But I haven't seen Mangs taking a look at the ballista range very much at all. So you probably should do that more often. Always check ranges and try to figure out some way to memorize them. And that way you won't put Merida back into ballista range like right here. I'm pretty sure that if you dropped her up from here, she would be out of ballista range.
Ah! This is annoying. They'll hopefully go for leave. God fucking damn it. Yeah, this isn't exactly going so well.
I think it's also worth noting that he didn't even look into ways to keep Merida out of range, but rather he just puts Salem in range along with Merida. Salem right here. He has a Dancer available, he has a Flyer available, he has Leaf available, who I'm pretty sure can drop Merida at least. He has Parn available, he could get a movement star, he has a 25% chance to just moving in without any help whatsoever. So there were a lot of ways that could have resolved this, and healing Merida isn't even keeping her 100% safe because she gets 2-shot by ballistas and there's 2 in range right here. So using Salem here just puts him in danger in case they go for him, and it also doesn't really keep her out of danger. In fact, you're just replacing really big danger with slightly smaller danger. So instead it would have been smaller to, or smarter to, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so she can't reach Olwen. She 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As far as I can tell, Edda could have been danced and picked up Merida and get on out of here. Flew back here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if not, she'd still be fine because the ballista has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So as long as Edda can reach this tile right here, she should be safe. Well, you get my point, right? He didn't even look at it. I don't really want to count tiles live here, but you get what I mean.
We'll keep Glade here. Oh shit, there's the boss. Oh! Right. There's the boss. This is a fucking nightmare, man.
I would also like to note that the boss was noticed very late, very late. And Asphal's in range of him. I have very bad experiences with Asphal against Master Lances, and Max is about to have a similar one. You should keep an eye on dangerous enemies. He pointed out the boss at the very start of the map, and then he didn't, like, keep an eye on him for his turn. I get this is a very busy turn, but this is important. I'd also like to note that the boss has at least 1 movement star, and that means he has at least a 5% chance, maybe a 10% if he has 2 stars, but I think he has 1, to move again. And for example, he could kill Tina or Lara or Edda right now, depending on how he moves his units. So that's also important.
Yeah, this is not going so well. Maybe I should just steal another ballista. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna steal the other ballista, just so I live. I'm gonna steal all the ballistas. Wait. Where's the other ballista? Please tell me I can steal the ballista. Why can't I steal that ballista?
So as I said earlier, Mangs doesn't really understand why he can't steal the ballista because he has a wrong idea of how Tina's thief staff works. Between like he thinks it's to do with the weight of the weapons, and later he's gonna be like, it's because it's equipped or something. In these cases, when you're playing yourself, you're not on stream watching with like a ton of people watching it. Just look it up or ask someone who knows, because trying to make sense of it doesn't really work well when you're under a pressure situation. Basically, know how things work before you start playing a chapter. And if you don't know it when you're playing, just look it up, because it might save your life one time. In this case, he didn't have enough magic to steal the ballista.
I guess I can see if I can silence someone. I don't know if there's any point. I can silence the Baron.
So at this point, Mangs is at a very low emotional point, and he's like, oh man, I'm so fucked, I'm dead, it's over. Very deadly mentality when you're playing Iron Man and you feel like your life is over. I can say this from experience, you start playing very poorly. Most people don't play Iron Man though, and if you feel like your run through is going very poorly, I guess this is not really related to this run in particular, but if you feel like you're playing badly and everything is going poorly, don't just start wasting resources like silence, but instead maybe before you reset, toy around a little bit, find out things about the AI that you couldn't if you were, still in a real run where you don't want to reset. Like if you already conceded that you're going to reset, experiment a little, see what certain enemies do and don't, and that way you might find out things that help you in future things. Of course, Max cannot reset. He just has to keep his head cool and figure a way out of this. But if you're in the same situation but you're not an Iron Man, then you have the opportunity to experiment a lot with things you normally wouldn't without having to replay the chapter over and over. So keep that in mind. So Mangs has decided to silence a mage, to use silence on one of the enemies on the map, which I don't agree with, but if you're gonna do it, you could have picked a better target, by far. The one he picked is, in a place where he can't attack anyone right now. If he's going to attack anyone, it's going to be Asphalt probably, or someone else. He has a lot of control over it. However, there are two places where there's much more dangerous magical enemies. One of them is that bishop that killed Orson. He could shut him up, and then he no longer has to worry about bolting if he ever gets to that point. The other one would be one of the Thunder Mages on the left, because Dean right there is fighting all on his own. A ton of enemies in range, and those might attack him at some point when he has no time to heal. That seems much more important. So, sure, if you want to use the silence on this map, at least use it on a proper place. It could actually help you.
Why not? Alright, let's turn animations on. Alright, Aspel, I'm counting on you to wipe out. Oh shit, that's really bad. Dean's gonna fucking die now. Oh boy. Yeah, this...
It's also worth noting that these enemies only reinforced because there was enemies dead. Another note for people who want to trivialize this chapter or make it easier on themselves. The more enemies you kill, the more enemies will come. The game has a cap of 50 enemies per map. And you can abuse this by not killing any enemies, and then there won't be any reinforcements, because the game just cannot handle more than 50 enemies on the screen at once for some reason. Either done to reduce your difficulty, or done to, keep in mind the game's limitations, like its physical hardware limitations, one of those things. But yeah, in this case, enemies end up reinforcing because he killed a couple of them, and now there's more enemies in range of Dean. Now let's see if Dean is going to get punished for his mistakes.
This is terrible. Ah, boy. Oh boy, that's a way higher hit rate than I thought. There's too many fucking leadership stars here.
I think it's also worth noting at this point, he's saying that there's higher hit rate than he expected because of leadership stars. That boss had 4 leadership stars, so that would have been 12 less hit, so that armor would have had 28 hit. This is a 1R end game. There's no 2R end system, so what you see is what you get. That armor would have had 28% chance of hitting him, and that's, in my opinion, that's way too high. Now the good thing is, because he has a slim sword equipped, he's not going to kill his armor and won't make place for more, but still plenty of 2 range enemies that can attack him.
Yeah, like, I just wanted to do something with it, okay? It's okay. It's okay. Dean's gonna kill the ballista. We'll be fine. I'm not even in range of it, but it doesn't matter. Who is attacking? Salem. Oh, thank you. Whew. Okay, thank God. He could have died.
Yeah, I pointed this out, didn't I? Never punished. Never punished.
Shit. Nice. Thank you. Nice.
Nice.
Please, Aspel, just don't die to the boss. That's all I'm asking. If we could kill the boss, that'd be really good. Always unpunished. Ah, I don't like the hit rates of these guys. I should probably just fly away and try. Wait, can you canto after you mount up? I can't remember. Fuck.
Well, this also sounds like something you should figure out before you fly in your flyer and then dismount them, knowing what you can do when you mount. And he's gonna make some major mistakes with this later.
There's so many enemies. Oh, yeah, I'm that boss. I'm really, really anticipating that boss. I know he's really, really dangerous. Please don't kill my Aspel. I need him. He's like the best combat unit I have. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Fuck me. That's a killer bow.
I honestly don't remember if he put a scroll on Aspel. If he didn't, that's another mistake right there. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he has put a scroll on there. But yeah, he's also very lucky that this boss decided to use a killer bow instead of the Master Lance that I know he has, because that would just two-shot Aspel, and the Master Lance is a brave one-to-range weapon.
Hit me. Oh yes, 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 yes. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Yes. Take that, wind. I think we might have to do a tactical retreat here. Let's at the very least promote Robert.
Oh yeah, he forgot to promote Robert for like at least 2 turns, so +1 for that one.
Okay, this is gonna get me killed really quickly. Can I mount, attack, and then canto? I think I can.
So, Chad at this point is already on record for deceiving Mangs. He's done 12x where he would be told that Vantage and Wrath work together, which I don't. Chad has also trolled Mangs when he asked, like, did he forget anything? And they were like, yeah, you forgot Nana, even though Nana was already long gone. So, you should know not to trust Chad. Second of all, we have discussed in depth how broken Kanto is in 3 houses. Or rather, how broken mounted units are in 3 houses for being able to mount and then fly somewhere else. Between like mounts and dismounts. Like that broken mount mechanic and dismount mechanic in 3 houses is insane. What he's doing right now is he's moving Dean 1 up. He moved from this space to 1 here and then mounted thinking he could canto away. But even in 3 houses, you cannot do that. You cannot move somewhere, mount, and then just canto away. The turn you mount again, you do not have canto basically. And that's in 3 houses. That's already a very generous game. This game is not generous at all. This is Thracia. This is a mean-ass game. You would not... Like, if you know anything about Fire Emblem, you don't mount here, is basically what I'm saying. I don't know why he thought he could do this, besides the fact that Chat told him. Or he thought he could, he remembers he could or something. Like, obviously you cannot. This is a dumb mistake, and I'm going to give him a point for that. He's going to claim that there was no way for him to know or something, or like he thought he could, or... I don't know, I said I could or something. I didn't. You cannot mount here, and by mounting, he's not going to be able to canto away. He's in range of like 3 bow knights, as well as a couple mages and armor knights. He's not going to survive. Dean shouldn't have been here, and he definitely shouldn't have mounted in this situation.
This will be 793. Is it better to use a kill lance maybe? That's 98. Yeah, let's just get rid of this guy. Ah, perfect. So now at least I don't have to worry about ballistas on the left side, which is nice. Wait, what? Wait, what? He can't canto away? You gotta be shitting me. No. What? How can he not? Huh? No. How? What? Can you not mount up and... Bullshit. That's bullshit. That is bullshit right there. That is bullshit. That is complete and utter bullshit. That is complete and utter bullshit. Alright, Robert. You're gonna deal with these guys now. Good luck. Good fucking luck. This is what you're gonna do now.
So, this is a house. This is the only house right here where you can travel. These houses they surround it. You cannot travel over them. So once Robert is here, he's gonna be here for a while. All right. Now Armonet's gonna go in front of him, and Robert has no way to get out on his own. He needs someone else's help to get out. Again, maybe not right now. Maybe he's not in danger right now. But this is a bow knight with a cost. Things could go wrong. They very well could. And there's no reason to risk it because you can just choke these enemies from here or here. You know, both of these ballistas are gone now, so you can put anyone you want here, honestly. So why put Robert in this position? Why trap him there? That's pretty silly. Right now, I think he's pretty safe for a turn because there's only going to be one enemy attacking him. But in the future, this could go wrong. So try to think more than one turn ahead. Like, he might be fine for one turn. He might not be. I don't know. I didn't see him checking these enemies. Maybe one of them has a battle axe or a long lance that can 2-hit KO him. And he does have a cost. And because he used the vulnerary, he has more HP than the enemies again. So a cost is activated. He has more HP than them. So the vulnerary actually, I think, puts him in bigger danger than before. Not saying you shouldn't have used the vulnerary at all. Just saying it might activate a cost, and he didn't even take it into account.
Ooh, we can capture. Let's get ourselves a hammer, boys.
Mangs is very, very, very weak to the temptation of capturing in Thracia, and I thought it was better in this chapter overall because he doesn't do it nearly as much as he usually does. For those of you that don't know, capture is it weakens your stats, it cuts them in half, but in exchange, if you defeat the enemy during combat, you can get their items. And it also means you have to do a couple of other things, like you basically forcibly rescue the enemy, so you have to get him off you before the enemy phase starts, or else you play an enemy phase with reduced stats too. So it's very risky. This is a situation where he feels like he's very fucked, he's getting overwhelmed, and he's deciding to capture a guy with a hammer, even though armors are not threatening enough to warrant the hammer at all. I think he even has a couple hammers lying around, at least one, and I don't know. I just don't feel like he needed to capture here at all. And like right here, it's going to go fine, I think, because Glade gets the job done unless he misses. But it's still such a huge risk to take.
Hammer! There you go, thanks. We need hammers. No!
Actually, right here, what I forgot to mention is that when you have an enemy or a player character rescued with 11 build or more, they're always going to slow you down because they will weigh more than half of your weight. In Glade's case, he counts as having 20 weight because he has a mount, and the enemy captured has at least 11 build, or 11 con basically. The thing it comes down to is the enemy is too heavy for Glade to carry around, and he could have foreseen this. And if an enemy is too heavy for you, then your movement gets cut in half, and now you can no longer hide behind Asphalt. So now, instead of Asphalt face tanking all these like he intended to, Glade cannot run away. So he's gonna have to solve that one too.
Okay, that's bad. That's actually really bad. We can get a hammer for Dagdar at the very least.
Yeah, you can see right here he already has a hammer on Dagdar, so he really doesn't need another one.
Okay, so Salem is gonna die if we keep him around, so that's kind of bad. But I guess if we put Leaf here, we can put Salem in here, I guess.
This is still in range of both ballistas.
It's probably. Oh, we can sleep someone. Who should we sleep? We could sleep one of the ballistas, honestly. I think that might be a good idea. Let's do that.
This is actually not a bad idea to sleep a ballista if you feel like you're in danger. It's a good way to get the pressure off of you. I feel like if you want to do this optimally, if you really want to make good use of it, you should just use it turn 1, because sleep lasts forever in this game. And now he's done it like turn 3 or 4 or something. Yes, it's only that turn. So he could have just saved himself a bunch of trouble if he just slept him in the first place. So I'm gonna give him 1 and then like 3 more, because I probably forgot to hit the counter like a bunch more times. There we go.
Sleep this guy. Let's sleep him. Let's sleep him. I'm trying to fucking survive. That's what I'm doing. Let's go into the arena.
I'm trying to survive. Let's go into the arena.
Whew. That was scary. Please hit. I think I'm gonna sleep the other. Oh wow. I think I'm probably gonna sleep the other ballista too. I just don't want to deal with it.
Note that both Merida and Tina are in range of this ballista, and at low HP, Merida definitely died to that ballista. I don't know about the range of HP she was at. She does have the Paragon Sword for +5 defense, Tina definitely dies in one hit, so what he should have done instead is get Marina out of danger zone at all with Olwen and Edda. Dropped her somewhere around here, and then Tina could heal safely. Now instead they're both kind of in danger. I think Marina's fine where she is, but now he needs to rescue Tina instead. Also note that Safi for some reason is all the way up here, even though a lot of people probably need healing after this point. This whole point is basically free, there's no one in range of that place. Ballistas cannot reach it, enemies cannot reach it. So Safi should have been around here anyway to be able to heal other people more easily. And in case he needed healing, if anyone was going to be here and if anyone's going to be here, it should have been Safi around here and Tina around here. Because, you know, Tina, whatever she does, she can like use Thief Staff and unlock Staff from here if she needs to. Mostly Thief Staff. And Safi, meanwhile, needs to be close to people anyway to heal people. And Safi doesn't miss with stabs. She probably has 10 skill at this point. Whereas Tina has a high chance of missing with stabs, as we're going to see later.
God, look at this clusterfuck. Okay, going for Blade. That's it. Oh boy. Man. Does this guy even have a defense stat? Jesus Christ.
I don't know, when. Why can't you tell me? Why haven't you looked at Glade's stats before you put him anywhere?
That's a great lance. Oh boy. He survives! He's dying to the bow armors, though. I don't see him getting through this phase. He's gonna fucking die. Alright. Okay, so he needs to, like, dodge 4 bow armors. That's not gonna happen. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright, okay. I don't want to get my hopes up. There's no way he's gonna live through this. Absolutely no way. It's not gonna happen. Not even for me. No. Okay, yeah, he's dead.
Told you.
I
told you.
Do I still get the Gaiden?
I told you.
Or is that like a requirement? I don't remember.
Also, he's confused about whether he's going to get the Gaiden chapter, but Dean is completely unrelated to the Gaiden chapter, for your information.
Stop. Glade is... Oh, fucking hell, Glade. I'm not using you anymore.
Well, good. He doesn't like being used like that. He's not that good at combat, you know?
Alright, here we go, Robert. You gotta kill the 2 range mages now. Haha. What Gaiden? You aren't getting past this chapter, dude. We'll see. We'll see about that. Are you going to use Edda, I guess? Oh, no. Oh, that's not... Oh, that's bad.
Note that if both of those mages had gone for Robert, he had a chance of death. But because the first one missed him, the second one didn't really have a preference for Robert or Lara. In fact, he would give him for Lara because Lara doesn't counter. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, boy. Let's equip a steel ball. I thought that was kind of fun.
Unit is in dangerous position. Unit now equips a heavier weapon. I'm not sure actually how much build Robert has, but if he doesn't have to weigh enough build to wield the steel bow without losing speed, then this is obviously a bad idea. I've been missing counters again, so I'm just gonna hit it a couple times and call it fair.
Use Edda. I guess so, I don't know, man. Edda sucks. I don't want to use Edda. She's a piece of trash. Alright, both ballista.
So sleep staves are very, very powerful tools in this game. You can use them on almost anyone, and you just neutralize them for the rest of the map. It lets you capture enemies really easily, so it seems like a really good tool that even Mangs can appreciate and use to the full extent. He just used it on a ballista that can only attack, I think, Merida and maybe Salem right now, and that's it. He could just retreat his units a little bit up, a little bit to the left, and that ballista would basically be irrelevant. It's the mirror of the other ballista on the other side, the one that's like the one that Dean tried to kill, and did kill eventually. It cost him a lot, but he did kill the ballista. So again, zooming in on the ballistas, not really considering, you know, is this really necessary? Hoarding is a pitfall, but so is using your units, your resources too much. I feel like Mangs has done a great job of reversing that pitfall and turn it into a mountain of wasted resources. He probably uses his valuable things too much, and although he doesn't often get punished for it, I would say the amount he uses them is sometimes a bit too much. He's using his weapons without restraint at all, which is the opposite of what I wanted to achieve. As long as it helps you, you should use it, but not every single time. You need to use some judgment on it.
Just got here. What happened to Orson? He got hit by a 1% hit. Not even fucking joking, man. He got hit by a 1%er.
Wow, that is the most ridiculous way I've seen him represent anything. I'm just gonna hit my buttons a couple of times for that. God damn it. What a liar. Get out of here.
So fucking... Yeah, I'm just gonna bank on him being able to clear out all these enemies.
So you might expect me to add a pitfall for that one, for, you know, putting Asphalt in range of a bunch of enemies. Most of these enemies have like one hit on him, if that, so I don't actually think this is as big of a deal as it could be. It's actually one of the more safe ways to clear these enemies if you want him to. Drains his wind rank. There's a small chance of death, but it's not nearly as bad as things he's done before. So I'm gonna let it pass.
Farewell in the arena. Let's try sending Dagdar in. He's good, right? Swordmaster? Fuck off! No! Fuck, fuck, fuck. No, 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 no. Get out, 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 get out. Get the... Oh, okay.